how are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I don't know. Jury's still out. It's one of those days where it's like, I just don't know.
What kind of information is Louie B giving you?
All false.
All of it.
Let me ask you this. How are the suits? Is everything okay?
So last time we chatted, you asked how many suits I have, and I said 5.
Yeah.
And I can now tell you all 5 are going right to the cleaners as soon as I'm done here.
Whoa. No cleaning. You wore it, you sweated out through your suit, and then you hung it up and wore it 2 days later?
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, what do you... Dude, I'm here for like 14 hours. You think I'm like...
Wow.
To a dry cleaner?
What are you sleeping there? There's no concierge service? I mean, where are you?
I'm staying in Manhattan, but it's in Flushing, and I guess I'm upset at you. I got a dry cleaning service.
To live the high life of Jim Tatti, it's out of reach for us normal folk.
Do I have to teach you guys everything? First thing you ask is, where's the concierge, and how do I get this done? Wow, that's just sad.
Okay.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the Millman stunning of Federer. Where does that show up on your Richter scale?
Oh, it's definitely shocking. Like I no offense to John Millman, but wasn't giving him any kind of chance. And in fact, myself and numerous different outlets, including ESPN, had done so many segments on a Djokovic-Federer quarterfinal. And not only was everyone here late because of that match, but everyone had to redo their shows because the next day's show was all about Federer versus Djokovic. So, it's the fact that it's the first time anyone outside the top 50 has ever defeated Roger Federer at the U.S. Open says something. And this is a guy who, in his last 2 Grand Slams, lost in straight sets to 2 different Canadians in the first round. So it's obviously an unbelievable story on his part, but hey, we all wanted to see those 2 stars collide, and if the humidity wasn't such a big story, we probably would have got it.
Novak Djokovic, he's going to go for I believe it's his 14th Grand Slam. He's got to get through Millman tonight. Do you think we're kind of heading towards maybe a Djokovic-Nadal final after Nadal survived the Dominic Thiem match last night?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I feel very good about saying Djokovic will be in the final. Rafa's been on the court for well over 12 hours over the last 3 matches, and I don't want to second-guess anyone of his stature. That's got to catch up conditions here. And again, this is probably one of the hottest U.S. Opens in history. And he's going to face Juan Martín del Potro, who's a very good player, who's a fan favorite here. I can only imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like. And Del Potro plays really well on the surface and is healthy, which has always been a big story with him. So that, to me, is much more of a pick-em than maybe I normally would have thought of going into this tournament. I'd maybe give the slight edge to Delpo because Rafa has had to play so much. And, we have seen him, gut out some of these victories, but he also hasn't looked flawless in these matches. So I think either way, you're going to get a great final, but I don't see the Djokovic-Nadal final at least as confidently as I maybe would have a couple days ago.
Mark, what's your assessment of Serena Williams' play? I mean, this story is, to me, it's phenomenal. The longevity and the power of her game just never seems to amaze ceases to amaze anybody. It just keeps going on, and probably starting another good run here.
Yeah, and you look at the serve right away, and she plays Karolina Pliskova, which this is the first time that she's defeated a top 10 player since her pregnancy. But Pliskova is a really good server, and she sat second in aces in the tournament going into that match. Second to Serena, who had 21 more aces. That's a pretty big gap from first to second, and if that serve is anywhere close to, say, 80%, it's tough for anyone to touch it. And, again, I think it's a positive sign that she had to grind and battle through that match, even though she won in straight sets, but she was down early on, wasn't playing her best, but was able to find another gear, and it was kind of vintage Serena. And, she learned a lot from Wimbledon, where she kind of steamrolled until the final and then came up short against Kerber. I think she's, not to use the cliche, but using this one match at a time. I don't see her losing to Sevastova, and I think that she'll be in a final. And, Serena has to be the overwhelming favorite. Naomi Osaka has been another big story here, but she's 20. If she gets to a final, has never done it before. And it would probably be she would be a little starstruck against Serena, but that obviously is getting ahead of ourselves. But before Federer was upset, Serena had been by far the biggest story, and now that it's been a couple days since Federer had lost, it's becoming that story again.
Alyssa Ronick of ESPN, the magazine, wrote an article yesterday after the win, said, time to acknowledge it's title or nothing for Serena Williams. Is that a fair argument to make?
Yeah, I think any player of that stature is going to say that, right? And if Serena loses in a semifinal, that's a pretty good tournament, but it's Serena, and she's made a whole life on winning titles. So I think that is fair, whether or not her team agrees with that or not. But even Patrick Mouratoglou, her coach, talks about titles, talks about winning championships, talks about we're not doing this grind from a really tough pregnancy unless she's here to win titles. So I think that's fair.
If you're looking at Serena Williams and just watching her, dominate last night, it's hard to think that nobody in their respective sport has been as dominant as Serena Williams, and it's weird because we're still not talking about this like it's the back nine. I think there's just this belief that Serena Williams is going to be dominant until her arm falls off from serving too much. But have you been able to maybe track? I don't even want to call it decline, but maybe something in Serena's game that makes you think, oh, maybe we are on the back nine of Williams' career?
Well, the biggest thing for her was fitness, right? Like when she came off that pregnancy, she, weighed more than she had before the pregnancy and certainly couldn't move around the court. So her mobility has been a question that she has had to answer throughout this run and has had to answer throughout this tournament. And watching her and hearing her, as she talked about it last night, she's moving as well as she has all season long, and we're seeing that in results against Pliskova, against Kai Kanepi going to a third set. But, she joked that, she doesn't have 10 more years of opportunities, although she would have said the exact same thing 10 years ago. She is relishing in the moment, and I think it's great for tennis, but I agree with you, Louis. Like, we're not just talking about the greatest tennis player of all time. We're talking about one of the greatest athletes of all time, either gender.
So, maybe you should get those suits cleaner. They're just going to walk home on their own.
Oh, I thought you meant because, when I get to interview her after she wins, and she won't do it because I smell. But
oh, guy,
you might be malodorous.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
I just learned that word. Rod Black taught me that word, malodorous. It means you smell.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate having a conversation and learning a new word about myself. And disappointing Tatti. I was having a really good day. I did a really good story today on the fact that Mark Masters isn't here, and then I get ripped by the Tap Man.
So when we watch you tonight, you're going to be a little down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. Good.
Gone. Yeah, you can look at it and be like, yeah, that's all me.
Wow. Good job, Jim.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Hope things cheer up for you.
Yeah. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. Thanks very much. Mark Roe from U.S. Open headquarters.
He's cursed us now for the rest of the show.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's it. I
He's going to look sad on the air tonight. Are you going to watch him? Hey, what's the matter with Mark?
What's the matter with Mark?
Plus, you're going to go, hey, I think your suit smells.
You're terrible. Malodorous. I got to use the word in the very next segment.
You see how that works? It happens. You get to use it. There's a reason why it happens, because you're going to need it within 15 minutes. Yeah, malodorous.
Means smelly.